On a calm afternoon, Naoto Hachiyuji visits the school library after class, hoping for a peaceful study session. However, his hope is shattered by a group of girls who are making a lot of noise without considering others. This greatly annoys Naoto and makes it hard for him to concentrate on his homework. Accidentally, Naoto's self-consciousness gets the best of him and he knocks his backpack off the table. The noise catches the girls' attention, and they come over to investigate, discovering a collection of his manga drawings. They start laughing and teasing him, except for Nagatoro Hayase, who stays behind. With a mischievous grin, she introduces herself as a first-year student and his junior. Nagatoro starts reading Naoto's manga out loud, which leaves him feeling incredibly embarrassed. She teases him, stating that he is only half the man as the main character he depicted in his manga. She playfully demonstrates that he lacks the confidence to approach a girl as the MC does in his manga. Seeing his reaction, she takes pleasure in his discomfort and continues to provoke him, getting closer to him and seeking more reactions. At one point, Nagatoro pushes him to the point of tears. Afterward, she leaves Naoto feeling broken and even gives him nightmares, causing him to lose sleep. The next day, Nagatoro follows Naoto into his art club, coming up with the daring idea of becoming his model to fish for more reactions. Despite Naoto's initial refusal, she insists and strikes alluring poses, making him feel incredibly awkward. Time passes, and Naoto still struggles to start drawing, unsure where to look or how to begin. Nagatoro encourages him by offering a reward, which helps Naoto regain his focus and produce a drawing. However, it turns out to be a trick to embarrass him further and make him feel like a creep. Nagatoro takes delight in making fun of Naoto, relishing in his uncomfortable reactions, and even finding joy in his tears. As it happens, Naoto and Nagatoro walk the same way home. Naoto is not too excited about this. Out of the blue, Nagatoro asks Naoto to be her boyfriend, leaving him at a loss for words and blushing. Of course, it is just another one of her pranks, and she accidentally pushes him too hard, causing him to fall into the water. Naoto calmly gets out, shakes off the water and walks away, feeling guilty for going too far. Nagatoro calls out to him and questions why he never gets angry with her, despite all her terrible behavior. Naoto recalls numerous instances from his past when he was bullied, sharing that he would often close his eyes and wait for it to pass. Though he doesn't reveal this to Nagatoro, he admits that he doesn't mind her in the same way. Surprisingly, Nagatoro is pleased by his response and introduces herself, sharing her name with Naoto. She explains that her name, Nagatoro, means long and Hayase means waterfall. True to her name, she is an incessant stream of annoyance to Naoto. In a burst of energy, Nagatoro barges into the art club, brandishing a hula hoop, and demands that Naoto join her in a hula hoop session. Being obedient, he kneels down, ready to jump in, but accidentally catches a glimpse of something he should not have. This earns Naoto a scolding and a good beating from Nagatoro. After peacefully enjoying his lunch, Naoto discreetly reveals a steamy vampire romance manga from a paper bag, unable to contain his excitement. The manga features enticing bathing scenes with alluring vampire girls, and Naoto eagerly anticipates delving into it. However, Nagatoro abruptly storms into the art club, catching Naoto red-handed and desperately tries to snatch the manga from his grasp. Suspecting the manga's perverted content, she pounces on the opportunity to tease Naoto, labeling him a pervert. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, Naoto fumbles and awkwardly gestures in response. Yet he manages to convince Nagatoro that the manga storyline is actually captivating, revolving around a forbidden romance between a boy and a vampire girl. After reading it herself, Nagatoro agrees and admits that she enjoys it. Naoto is relieved to see her appreciation. Nagatoro boldly declares that she wants to try biting Naoto's neck after reading a vampire novel. Naoto is filled with terror, knowing Nagatoro's unpredictable nature. Panicking, he attempts to escape, but Nagatoro quickly pounces on him, pinning him to the ground. Just as she is about to sink her teeth into his neck, she recoils in shock from his garlic breath and retreats. Seizing the opportunity, Naoto tries to break free, only to find himself pinned down again. This time, however, Nagatoro accidentally places her hands where they shouldn't be, leaving both of them startled. Nagatoro swiftly turns the situation around, teasing and toying with Naoto. In an attempt to find solace and complete his homework in peace, Naoto seeks refuge in a cafe. Unfortunately, his hopes are shattered when a group enters, and Nagatoro happens to be among them. Instinctively, Naoto hides behind the tables. It turns out that Nagatoro's friend has arranged for her to meet a boy. Naoto assumes that she will playfully tease and toy with this boy, as she usually does. To his surprise, he witnesses a different side of Nagatoro, cold and distant toward the other boys. Observing this behavior, Naoto is taken aback, wondering why Nagatoro is completely different when she is with him. In the art club, Nagatoro playfully suggests that Senpai should use her as a model and feel honored by the opportunity. However, Naoto insists that he's content with what he already has and struggles to hide his embarrassment. Nagatoro teasingly starts undressing, causing Naoto to close his eyes in shock. To his relief, he discovers that she is still wearing her bathing suit, realizing that Nagatoro is just messing with him once again. As they walk home, they find themselves caught in a downpour, drenched by the rain. Seeking shelter under a nearby awning, Nagatoro points out that her shirt is soaking wet and warns Naoto not to look, playfully calling him a pervert if he does. Naoto assumes she's joking and turns around only to be genuinely surprised and embarrassed. With the rain showing no signs of stopping, Nagatoro proposes that they go to her place to wait it out. For the first time ever, Naoto finds himself in a girl's bedroom, unsure of how to act and feeling exceptionally awkward around Nagatoro. Seizing the opportunity, Nagatoro takes hold of Naoto's hand and expresses her desire to fool around. Naoto is taken aback and pushes Nagatoro away, only to realize that she means playing games and he had misunderstood, making a fool of himself in the process. Today, Naoto decides to break his routine and head to the school cafeteria for lunch. As he enters, he is taken aback by the bustling crowd and struggles to find a seat. Just when he starts to feel overwhelmed, Nagatoro notices his fluffy hair and invites him to join her. Naoto hesitates, knowing that not only Nagatoro but her two friends are also present. He anticipates being teased by 3 girls instead of just one. However, to his surprise, every time Nagatoro's friends make a comment, Naoto is taken aback by Nagatoro's unexpected protectiveness. After lunch, Nagatoro suggests that Naoto should be more assertive and stand up for himself. She encourages him to practice with her. As part of the practice, Nagatoro playfully teases him, but her remarks hit a sensitive spot, causing him to sniffle and tears to well up in his eyes. Realizing her mistake, Nagatoro feels remorseful and apologizes, but she can't help but be drawn to his teary eyes. Overwhelmed by his emotions, Naoto succumbs to his anger and, as he was instructed, delivers a backhanded slap to Nagatoro. However, his aim goes awry, landing the slap in an embarrassing place. Both of them are shocked and embarrassed, and Naoto quickly apologizes to Nagatoro for his mistake. After a long session of oil painting, Naoto heads to the sink to wash off the paint from his fingers. Naturally, Nagatoro seizes the opportunity to join him and playfully interact with Senpai. She takes hold of his hands and starts vigorously rubbing and washing them, an aggressive gesture that overwhelms him. Feeling overwhelmed by her touch, he quickly escapes, unable to handle her enthusiasm. Nagatoro shares with Naoto the notion that if he desires praise, he must also be willing to offer it to others. She emphasizes the importance of reciprocity, explaining that what goes around comes around. Curious to see how he would fare, she encourages him to practice giving compliments and asks him to say something nice about her. Although still a bit shy, Naoto manages to express his admiration for Nagatoro, particularly praising her kicks. Taken aback by his kind words, Nagatoro feels a mix of surprise and embarrassment, realizing how he thinks about her. After playfully teasing Senpai with her seductive poses as a model, Nagatoro eventually grows tired and drifts off to sleep. Captivated by her peaceful slumber, Naoto finds inspiration in the moment. Seizing the opportunity, he quietly begins to sketch Nagatoro, aiming to capture her beauty in the soft glow of the setting sun. Although he lacks confidence in his work, he feels too embarrassed to share it with Nagatoro. Unbeknownst to him, she sneaks up behind him, ready to pull another prank as her reward for his drawing of her. While walking home together, Nagatoro playfully takes a sip from Senpai's tea, teasing him. She then casually asks for his phone number, which catches him off guard. As he prepares to take a sip from his tea, he suddenly becomes aware that if he does, it would be like having an indirect kiss with Nagatoro. He feels self-conscious, and his hand trembles as he brings the cup closer to his lips. In that moment, Nagatoro catches him in the act, accusing him of being a pervert, as if she had expected him to fall into her playful trap. Relaxed and content, Naoto lies in bed with a watermelon-flavored popsicle in hand, watching TV in the comfort of his air-conditioned room. He revels in the peacefulness of the moment. However, his tranquility is abruptly interrupted when his phone rings, and it's Nagatoro on the other end, demanding that he get dressed and join them at the beach. Going to the beach is the last thing he had in mind for the day. Reluctantly, Naoto agrees and begrudgingly meets up with Nagatoro, along with her friends Gamel and Yoshi. When the girls change into their bathing suits, Senpai becomes flustered and unsure of where to direct his gaze. He feels embarrassed and shy, not quite comfortable in the beach environment with all the cool kids around. Nagatoro notices Senpai alone and decides to approach him, urging him to join her in the water. Naoto declines, stating that he hates getting sunburns. His attempt to escape is futile, as Nagatoro strips him to his bathing suit and has sun lotion in hand. His reluctance annoys her, and as a playful punishment, Nagatoro uses her foot to apply sun lotion to Naoto's back, with her friends joining in on the fun. Eventually, Naoto reluctantly gives in and joins them in the water, where they have a great time playing together. By the time they return home, Naoto is exhausted, but takes a moment to express to Nagatoro that he genuinely had a memorable time with her. Tonight is the summer festival, and the streets are bustling with people wearing traditional yukata. Naoto wonders if Nagatoro will drag him along, but to his surprise, his phone remains silent. Wanting some fresh air, Naoto takes a leisurely walk and unexpectedly runs into Gamel and Yoshi. They suspect he's searching for Nagatoro, thinking he's being creepy. Naoto denies it, but they see through his lie. Gamel snaps a photo of Naoto as evidence and blackmails Nagatoro. Without hesitation, Nagatoro rushes over as fast as she can. However, Gamel doesn't let Naoto go easily and challenges Nagatoro to a contest. The prize is Naoto himself. All four of them have a great time. Nagatoro asks Naoto if he was waiting for her call tonight. She suggests that if he wants to do something, he should simply ask next time, as the answer might be yes. In the end, Nagatoro wins by a small margin and reclaims Naoto as her prize. The two of them are alone, and the atmosphere feels awkward. Naoto wonders if this is what it's like to be on a date with a girl. They laugh together and enjoy delicious food. Nagatoro seems to read his mind and speaks out loud what he was thinking. She goes a step further and offers her hand, suggesting they hold hands. Just then, the fireworks start, and they both rush toward it. The line to see the fireworks is very long. Suddenly, Naoto remembers a secluded path to the top of the hill that offers a great view of the fireworks. He takes hold of Nagatoro's hand and leads her in that direction. Once they reach the top, they enjoy the clear view of the fireworks. Nagatoro teases Senpai, saying he must have brought her to a secluded area because he has naughty thoughts in his mind. On their way home, Senpai gathers his courage and suggests to Nagatoro that they should come together again next year. Nagatoro is pleasantly surprised by the invitation. After the first day of the semester, Naoto notices Nagatoro hanging out with her group of friends. Two boys from their school join them and start making casual conversation. One of the boys puts his arm around Nagatoro and asks her out on a date. This makes Naoto uncomfortable, and his legs start moving on their own. Senpai stammers but manages to tell Nagatoro that she should leave. The boys mock Naoto, but Nagatoro doesn't care. She stands up and joins Senpai, and her friends follow suit, leaving the boys behind. Nagatoro and her friends tease Naoto, joking around and making fun of him. But Naoto finds it difficult to keep up with their playful banter. However, amidst the teasing, Naoto catches Nagatoro's gaze, and she returns it with a warm smile. Nagatoro makes fun of Senpai for having skinny arms and calls him a bean sprout. She suggests exercising together to make him stronger. Senpai declines, saying that it requires too much effort. Nagatoro suggests an exercise that doesn't require much movement and tricks Senpai into getting on all fours. As they're in that position, a couple of schoolgirls pass by and quickly leave in embarrassment. Nagatoro and Senpai are left feeling shocked and embarrassed too. The midterm exams are coming up, and Naoto is busy playing a new video game instead of studying. Nagatoro reminds him about the consequences if he fails the exams. He might have to repeat a grade and end up in the same class as her. Naoto unexpectedly says that it wouldn't be so bad. This makes Nagatoro blush. However, when he realizes the teasing he would endure from Nagatoro and her friends, he becomes determined to do well on his exams. Nagatoro is disappointed when she finds out that Naoto actually did well on his exams and won't be in her grade. On their way back from school, they decide to play rock, paper, scissors, and the loser has to carry the bag. Senpai notices that Nagatoro is getting upset, so he intentionally lets her win. In the third round, Senpai loses again, and Nagatoro playfully jumps on his back, making him carry her. However, as she starts slipping off, he tries to readjust and accidentally touches her. Embarrassed, she quickly jumps off his back and runs away. Naoto keeps anxiously checking his phone, waiting for Nagatoro's call, wondering if she's still upset. Finally, his phone rings, and it's Nagatoro on the line. She asks him to guess what she's doing right now. When he hears that she's in the bath and talking to him, he panics and falls over in surprise. His imagination starts running wild, making him feel even more embarrassed. Meanwhile, Nagatoro playfully teases Senpai on the phone, but accidentally presses the video call button. They both scream in shock once they realize what happened, leaving them feeling embarrassed. Sakura enters the club room in tears, and both of them are surprised and confused. It turns out that Sakura is being stalked by one schoolboy, and she doesn't know what to do to make it stop. She asks if Senpai can help her by pretending to be her boyfriend. She believes if they act lovey-dovey, it will discourage the boy from stalking her. Nagatoro starts getting jealous and tells them that if Sakura asks Senpai to do this, she would be in worse trouble than having just one stalker. Senpai reluctantly agrees to help, and Nagatoro can't hide her shock. Naoto, who has never been on a date before, feels nervous. Sakura holds onto Senpai's arms while they walk, which makes Nagatoro angry. Gamo and Yoshi tease Nagatoro, saying that it's like a romantic comedy where they pretend to date, but eventually develop real feelings for each other. This motivates Nagatoro to take action and quickly confront the stalker, bringing him in front of them. With the stalker issue resolved, the pretend date comes to an abrupt end. On their way back home, Nagatoro teases Senpai, saying he's not yet ready for a real date. Senpai's a pervert. You got it all wrong. Stop hitting me. Nagatoro and her friends see Senpai and his embarrassing display of athleticism. Senpai admits that he has accepted his weakness in sports. Nagatoro refuses to let him wallow in self-pity and declares that she will personally train him. Naoto does not look forward to this. Naoto quietly grumbles about how he hates spending his relaxing weekend exercising. Nagatoro greets him and starts running, but he quickly falls behind, feeling tired and unenthusiastic. He eventually stops and begins to complain. Nagatoro takes this opportunity to taunt and make fun of his weakness, which upsets him. In frustration, Senpai runs away from Nagatoro. She is secretly pleased that her teasing motivates him. After the strenuous run, they begin to stretch, but Senpai feels embarrassed by the awkward poses. As they stretch, they encounter Yoshi, who gives them a strange look. The school culture festival is coming up soon. Naoto is unsure about what he should do for the art club's activity. Nagatoro suggests that she could be his model. In a playful manner, Naoto says that she can only be his model if she dresses up in a cat costume. thinking it would embarrass her. To this surprise, Nagatoro shows up the next day wearing a cat costume. He feels both surprised and embarrassed, but he compliments her outfit. While Nagatoro's gang hangs out in the club room, he hears familiar footsteps approaching the club room. He immediately rushes everyone to hide. The president of the art club enters the room. She is here because she has decided to contribute to the festival. Secondly, she's been hearing rumors of unsavory characters frequenting the club room and came to check out. The president is serious and stern, letting Naoto know that if he takes the club as a joke, then there is no reason to keep the art room and that she will disband it, not being able to tolerate the berating Senpai is receiving from the president. Nagatoro barges out of the room to defend Senpai. She claims that he is always working on his art and that she doesn't know how hard he is trying. Upon hearing this, the president comes up with a plan to see what Naoto has to offer. She proposes a separate exhibition and the two will be competing against one another. Naoto can't hide his anxiety as he has to compete against the president, who is known as the school's art prodigy. The girls come across the artwork the president created for last year's competition. It was a provocative portrait of herself wearing revealing attire. Nagatoro's competitive spirit ignites, and she vows to do her best to inspire Senpai so he can create amazing artwork. Nagatoro goes out of her way to try various methods to help Senpai, but none of them seem to yield results. Senpai also becomes frustrated with his lack of progress and unintentionally takes it out on Nagatoro. The president observes Senpai's artwork and remarks that he is merely going through the motions without any emotion. She advises him that he needs to infuse his drawings with love if he wants to surpass her own work. In the midst of this conversation, Nagatoro accidentally interrupts them and misunderstands the situation, hastily leaving the scene. Senpai immediately follows after her. Nagatoro is still mad about what she saw and doesn't want to listen to his explanation. She tells him to go away and draw the president instead. Senpai boldly declares that he doesn't want to draw anyone but Nagatoro, not in costumes or other disguises, but just the real Nagatoro as she is. This confession catches them both off guard, leading to an awkward moment, and they accidentally fall into the water together. Soaked and drenched, but Nagatoro starts splashing water at Senpai playfully with her smiles back. Creep. Ha ha ha. 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 After being patient and working hard, Senpai finally created several paintings that he is proud of. The theme is the beauty of ordinary moments in daily life. He depicted moments spent with Nagatoro and showed how special they are. The girls are impressed with the paintings and tease Senpai, saying they look like they were painted by a boyfriend. This makes both Senpai and Nagatoro feel shy and embarrassed. They decide to sneak into the next room to spy on the president's artwork. Nagatoro faints due to shock. The girls are shocked by the alluring and provocative nature of the art and wonder if Senpai's artwork can compete with it. While preparing for the cultural festival, the president ensures that Naoto has his best artwork ready, just as she has done for herself. Naoto can't help but admire her passion for art. To attract more attention to Naoto's artwork, Nagatoro and the gang dress up in costumes to attract crowds. Naoto appreciates the effort Nagatoro is putting in on his behalf. Nagatoro struggles to hide her jealousy as Senpai receives compliments and attention from other girls for his talented drawings. However, Senpai assures her that he was only able to create such great drawings because she was there to inspire him. The president gracefully accepts defeat, and the girls playfully dress her up in a bunny costume, and together they sell merchandise, which proves to be a great success. Nagatoro excuses herself from the group and goes to find Senpai. The president comments that Naoto's artwork could use better technique, but acknowledges the passion and love behind it. This comment makes both Nagatoro and Senpai blush and feels flustered. Feeling embarrassed by the situation, Nagatoro playfully hits Senpai to relieve the tension. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe our channel for more video like this.